So that was Isaiah 9 from a piece I recently completed, which I call the American Oratorio for the Father of Creation. And this is a work that I spent 15 months doing. It's comprised of the Trinity times 7, which is 21 movements, plus an overture and a finale. Now, I got the title for the Father of Creation from Bob Marley. It's one of his songs. He speaks of the Father of Creation. What I did was I selected what I thought were 7 qualities from the Bible that would describe a message for us, for humanity. And those are light, love, life, mercy, forgiveness, righteousness, glory. And out of those 7 topics, I picked verses from the Bible. I didn't know the Bible, so I took about a year reading it a few pages at a time. I decided to use Enoch. Very few people know of Enoch. The Bible, if you read it, Enoch is referred to many times in Old Testament and New Testament, as far back as Genesis, all the way up to the second epistle of Peter. When Peter describes angels being bound in chains, sent to hell, the theologian interpretation is, angels sin, they go to hell. Now, there's more to it than that. There's an entire story that's associated with those 200 angels, and it's fantastic. It's almost fantasy, but this is something that happened according to the Bible and in relation to the writings of the Bible. So it's important to understand what it is, and that's why I included this. Let's hear some of Enoch. So because it's a little different, I wanted to give it a little reggae feel, and we'll hear some of it. Let's get on here so we can see the words. Understand about Enoch is Enoch was the grandfather of Noah, and really the intermediary between God and the 200 angels who defied him. He was an extraordinary being, extraordinary man, and it's an extraordinary story, and one that we should all be acquainted with. But the thing about Enoch is you could say that he was the first prophet, but all roads lead to the Messiah, as far back as Enoch, the grandfather of Noah. And that's why I'm showing these words. I want you just to hear a little bit more. If you've been with me this long, congratulations. We're going to hear a little more of this because it gets technically challenging. Now, obviously, I'm not going to play the whole piece. It's 23 movements. It's 100 minutes worth of music. It's fantastic music. One of the things, though, that this piece represents is truth as a light, so that we keep our foundation of society and civilization. And that's why these messages are so important. Anyway, things get pretty hairy and fun, so I'll just play a little bit more of this one. So that's pretty much what I wanted you to get out of that message about Enoch and his importance. He should be included in the Bible. So maybe we should start a GoFundMe or something. Job is cool. Now, one of the issues with the Bible is that it spans 13,000 years, roughly. I did, however, find some really powerful meaning in Job 27. And so that's the next piece I'm going to play for you. This work is all sampled, right? So it's sampled audio. In this case, I'm using Steinberg Hallian Symphonic Orchestra because I found it the easiest to work with. But the voices they're just right? So that's why I have to look at the words in order to understand what's going on. That's the message that I got out of Job. It's very beautiful. So let me just do a couple more. I'm not going to take up your whole day, but just a couple that I think are probably you would enjoy. This one is Luke 11 from the second half, which is mostly New Testament, and these are words of Christ. Here, let's hear some of this. Let's go down here. So my message to lawyers. Let's open up a different one to tell you about a little variety. Micah predicts is about Bethlehem. Yeah? You have to hear the work with the words in order to understand the message. So I'll give you one more. I did 33 piano sketches, and from that I took the 23, just in time for Easter. And we'll go out with a bang here. That's the end of the first half. I hope you enjoyed this little trip through my composition. The entire thing you can listen to on SoundCloud. There is a playlist. I recommend going to that playlist. It's Pierre Roy Oboe on SoundCloud. But I prefer that you go to my site first because all my compositions are on a page called Music. Let's see, I've got this Oratorio. I've got my first symphony, which is electronica for orchestra. I've got a oboe concerto, which I wrote a couple of years ago, and an oboe quartet, which is really a lovely piece. I also have a string piece. I hope you check it out. I'll post a link in the description. And best of all, have a wonderful, glorious Easter in the spring of 2023.